When a game dev team comes together and have the time and resources, a truly amazing game can be made. This can be said for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Almost everything about this game is perfect, and I'd be more than happy to say that Tropical Freeze is one of, if not the best side-scrolling platformers ever made. That's a pretty broad statement actually. It's made extremely clear that the guys over at Retro Studios had a great time making this. Everything just fits together so nicely, from the soundtrack and the art style to the controls of DK and the interaction with the environment. The soundtrack is the most prevalent aspect about this game. David Wise composed some of the most memorable soundtracks in video game history, and this might be some of his best work to date. I also want to quickly mention how well the soundtrack is integrated into the gameplay. Take a stage like Haunt Up Hop. The owls in the background are blown into the horns in time to the music. And in Grassland Groove, the animal statues are swaying back and forth. Some stages even have a multi-layered soundtrack. I'm sure this has been done before, but the way it's done in Tropical Freeze is so smooth. You enter a new area and the music changes with it. It really changes the atmosphere of the stage. It also gives you a good reason to not die, to listen to that sweet music, yo. Control is absolutely superb. This is one of the tightest platformers I have ever played. You have so much control in the air as well as on the ground, and even more so when teamed up with Dixie as platforming becomes an absolute cinch. A smaller touch I noticed was at certain points of stages where the camera would pull back, allowing you to see more. This only really happens in certain areas such as caves and chase scenes, as navigating can be pretty hard if you can't see stage hazards properly. Bonus rooms are by far the weakest point of the game for me, only boasting a whopping 4 to 5 types of bonus rooms. They can get pretty boring quick. A bit of variation would have been nice, seeing as bonus rooms are added to almost every single stage. There's 7 wells in total in Tropical Freeze, and each have their own amount of stages, as well as hidden parts and DK levels which you have to meet certain criteria to unlock. And these DK levels are really hard. So, if there's one feel-good game that you should play, then it's definitely Tropical Freeze. I would go so far as to recommend getting a Wii U specifically for Tropical Freeze. I mean, you could either do that, or you could watch Let's Plays. You'll get the same experience, or you could just listen to the soundtrack. Just do something to get Tropical Freeze in your life. It's good. Almost everything about this game is perfect, and I'd be more than... Tropical Freeze... I got tea up my nose. How the fuck did I do that? The soundtrack is the most prevalent aspect of... Blah 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 blah. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle. Pikachu! Oh, if I need to re-record something, I'll do it later. We're doing it live. Fuck it. Bum 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 bum. The owls in the background are blowing into horns at the same... why do I keep saying in the same time? It doesn't even say the same time. Read the script. The owls in the background are blowing into horns the same... What is this? A smaller touch I noticed was at certain points stages where the camera would pull back. Good line.